Let's go with that one. That's the only reason why you're here.
I'll be there. Okay. I'll be there. I'm here to support you, buddy.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Can I introduce my friend?
Absolutely. Hey. I'm trying to figure out the best, like all the people in it, but
Zero. One.
No. Calling my desk.
Okay, everybody, it is 7:30, probably about 7:45. We're going to do some speeches, so 10-ish minutes. And if you want to know, let's see. Those are the people trying to avoid the camera, especially those two. I'm putting you on camera because you tried to avoid it.
You want me to do it?
Nah, I was just fucking with him.
All right, when are we gonna do this?
So I was thinking 7:45, 10 minutes.
7:45. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then when we do it, do you want me to get it live on my phone too?
Sure.
If you want to. Cool.
So you're going to talk in 7?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay, great. That's, yeah.
7:45. And I can always give you right on.
You can walk in. I'm going to stay at that, eating and drinking.
I'm enjoying.
I met another yogi, by the way.
Can you, people can share.
You may want to jump over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you want it? You want to stand right there and see if that looks good for. It sucks because I think you want to get the people in there, but I also want to get your face. Well, whatever. You'll just have to look over this way sometimes, I guess, or both of us will.
What about there?
I don't know how good the microphone is, but.
All right, everybody.
Oh my God, it's live.
Chris. Well, thank you everybody for coming. This is completely out of my comfort zone. For people who don't know me, I wrote software for 2 decades. I worked in my pajamas. That is literally all I did for 2 decades. And now I'm running for office trying to save the world. Yeah. Thank you. I'm less concerned, to be honest with you, than of winning, and I'm more concerned that people need to build up their communities, and that is essentially the platform that I'm running on. I do not trust government, even though I'm a politician now. I don't trust politicians, I don't trust government, and I don't trust capitalism. I don't trust business, because at the end of the day, I don't think any of them actually care about us. Capitalism is too greedy, they want to make profit. Government is supposed to protect us from capitalism, but unfortunately it seems like it's gotten a little bit corrupted by that same greed. So when you take both of those realisms, you realize that no one's going to help you, ever. And that's why I'm running for office. So I can't go to Congress and get anything for you. I can't vote for jobs, otherwise I'm going to be going to war and stuff like that. So the only solution that I see is that we all need to become independent and self-sufficient. And so by hosting these events, by meeting like-minded people, I'm hoping that we can start to create a movement where people actually trying to work with each other, work with the community, and build up from there. I am not running alone, thankfully. So Danielle, would you like to say a few words? I know they're really loud back here.
So I'm running for Congress in District 49. I haven't been in politics, you know, for youth years, but in the last election, I think a lot of people woke up to some realizations that things aren't going to fix themselves on their own. And I really think that that's if we can all come together and all realize that the way things are going now with the two-party system has to end. We have to have independents running for government. There's a huge portion of America that's left out. And I'm done with the majority being ruled by the minority. And I'm hoping that with the precedent opportunity that we have, I think, 50 seats opening up in 2018, people just not seeking re-election. I really do believe that if we can get all of these seats filled up with independents, we can have an opportunity to get our country back. So that's why I'm going to run for Congress in 2018.
And one of the things, I don't think what she didn't say here, what you gave up to run for office is huge. I didn't give anything up. So for people who know me, I literally spent the last couple of years watching sci-fi, stretching, going for walks, being on, I'm not kidding, being on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot. That was my life. You had something amazing going on, and you actually are dropping it to endorse this.
Yes, well, I actually am I'm on the board of a prison reentry program that's been in San Diego for 21 years. I'm not completely going to phase out, but my goal was to get this reentry program into every state in America. But I really do think that this is more important now. We can change more laws. We can get reentry programs, into more states this way, by changing the laws and representing the people the way that they need to be represented. Yes?
Tell us what that re-entry program is.
Welcome Home Ministries.
What's that?
Welcome Home Ministries.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it without funding is that it seems like every time someone runs for office, they start off with good intentions, conservative or progressive, they view the world differently, and that's fine with me. But then they start down this path, and all of a sudden you're getting narrower and narrower with what you're allowed to do. And all of a sudden money says, no, we want you to be at war, no, we want you to keep fighting for this health care, but never actually solve the problem. And I've noticed that there's absolutely no money in unity. Anytime there's a group of people that can come together and resolve their differences, there always seems to be money that says, nah, we're going to make you guys fight. And it even goes down to the micro level. I was on Facebook during the election last year, and when two people tried to come together who had differing opinions, money would actually encourage them through bots or whatever, paid Facebook trolls, and they would actually encourage people to start arguing. And I had one point where this was after the election, and I was reaching out to the Clinton people who I wasn't friends with, and I said, well, tell me your side, let me hear about it. And other people came in, and they're like, why are you talking to that Bernie guy? And I think that's not what people want, that's what money wants. And so I think people are really sick of this division. It's across the board. Anytime I say I'm trying to unite the left and the right, people aren't even really interested in the solution beyond that. They're like, oh, thank God, someone's at least trying to talk to both sides. And what it comes down to is there's not one group in my life that I'm not directly connected to. Whether or not it's race, obviously gender, sexuality, conservative, progressive, any group you name it, I'm at least directly connected or one person removed. So there is absolutely no group that I can leave out in this run for office. I can't run on purely progressive values because I have conservative friends They love God, they love family, they really love their guns, but they also love this country and they want to make the world better. And there's absolutely no reason why people like that, many of you know my ex-girlfriend Jenica, the most important person to me on the planet, and her dad is so conservative. We couldn't be further apart, but we both share this love of his daughter. And there's no reason why this company shouldn't work for him, even though he's super conservative, because he's a good guy. He's not causing trouble. So when I see this division that both parties are forced into because of money, I just don't see a path forward that's going to be acceptable to me. Like when I was a kid, I was sold this American dream. If you work hard, play by the rules, you can make it. And I'm like, great, I did it. I really did. I was 40, I retired, I had all this fun. It's great, but all of my friends are still working. They're all struggling. The overwhelming majority of people are living paycheck to paycheck, which is not a good, freeing way for humanity to live. So that's why I decided I was going to run for office. I didn't want to see things get worse. I didn't want to be the one guy who was living in his apartments, watching all his friends struggle and look for schools, try and save for retirement, stress out about a car wreck. That's just not a good way to live. So honest to God, the reason why I'm running is I want to make the world a better place. I don't need anyone's money. I literally don't need any more things. I want the world around me to be better. So that's why I'm running. And it's really weird saying things and have people clap. I'm not quite used to that. I gotta go through this stuff. Usually I just type an angry email and then someone will go fix the problem elsewhere. Anything else? You guys, I probably should talk a little about the cooperative economy a little bit, and then we could just do questions that people want or meet and greet. At the basics of the cooperative economy is open source philosophy marries small business or mom and pop shops. And when you have a group of people engaging in open source and small business, they learn from each other. So the example I like to give is food, because the example I like to give is food, because if things go south, if there's an oil shock, if there's a war, if there's an earthquake, God knows what can happen in California. We don't want our communities to turn into the Walking Dead. You don't want to have to kill your neighbors to go get a can of beans. It would be beneficial if we all knew how to grow our own food, like we used to have Victory Gardens. But this way, with new technology, we can actually use hydroponics and have best process for growing food. So Claremont grows some food, they learn how to, they do a good job, but then Arizona says, no, you guys didn't do a good job. We can do the same thing, but use less water. And then Silicon Valley says, oh, I see what you guys did, but we can do the same thing, and we can automate. And then as communities nationwide and worldwide learn from each other, with not too much time passing, all of a sudden you have an entire population that is independent of its food supply from Monsanto or from the FDA or anyone else you don't trust. And it's not like capitalism is going to go away. Government's not going to go away. They will all be there until they're no longer needed. As the cooperative economy grows, you can start to rely on that more, and then you will need capitalism less. So you don't need any new laws. You don't need anyone's permission. All we need is enough people to say, you know what, we are going to build up our own communities because government's not going to help us and capitalism. That's the spiel. I'm going to have a great closing. Are there any questions? How are people feeling?
Great.
Yeah.
That's a question.
Yeah.
So when you mention cooperative economy to people, a lot of people will roll their eyes at that.
Yes.
Or because they're so used to you versus me.
Yes.
Mantra. How do you plan on combating that and winning over conservatives, liberals, progressives, whoever?
I gotta say, conservatives to me are the easiest people to deal with, even though I'm progressive. For a conservative, this is it. It's so easy. Look them in the eye, tell them what you're gonna do. That's it. That's what they want to know. It's not that they don't have emotion, but they want to know what you're going to do because they're with logic and reason, so they can plan their life. Like I went to the Republican convention, Libertarian, you saw, and they just ask you a question. As long as you don't freak out emotionally, they're like, great, I got their answer. And they may not agree with you, but that's okay as long as they know where you stand. It's the wishy-washy. So how do you get enough people? That's the task. We have to get enough people like this agreeing with what I'm saying and wanting to start. And there's no shortcut. So it's going to be an educational process. I was working on a video that fell through. We may do something like that future, but that's there's no shortcut. It has to be enough of this.
I think it also helps that neither one of us are politicians.
You think?
Nobody wants to vote for a politician. No, politicians don't represent the people. You know, when somebody asks a politician a question, it's dodge, it's words, it's not answers, because if they actually answered the question, they wouldn't get reelected. So, I believe that in these campaigns, you guys are going to see a lot of truth. You're going to be exposed to a lot of truth that you typically don't get exposed to with politicians. So vote for us because we're not politicians. Yeah.
Anything else? Questions?
What's going to be your first crop?
My first crop? I'm probably not going to be personally growing anything. I'm encouraging the community to do it. I'm very lazy, as you know. And I'm just going to be going from room to room, and people are going to be boo, clap, or cheer, and that's going to be my life for the next few years. And I'm just going to hopefully encourage people to grow whatever crops make sense.
California is the #1 candidate. We all know what it is.
Yeah.
It's the Green Rush.
No, I don't know anything about that. All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming. I would encourage you to get a few people's numbers or names and emails that you don't know. If you haven't signed up on the newsletter list so that we can communicate with future events like this, we plan on doing a Meet the Revolutionary Candidates brewery tour. We're going to go from different breweries and do stuff like this, hopefully gain an audience, gain some excitement around the movement, and hopefully recruit a few more people to run for office doing what we're doing. It, honest to God, doesn't take much money. All you have to do is rent a venue like this and talk to people and let the democracy chips follow them in.
And how can we raise awareness about your campaign?
Thank you. That's the biggest question I'm struggling with, because to be honest with you, I don't think social media is going to help. I don't think Twitter's going to help. I don't think Facebook's going to help. It used to be one of those things where you could just broadcast and whoever you followed received your message, and I don't think that's the case anymore. They seem to be a little more intent on their profit model, and if you're saying something that they disagree with, you don't get broadcast as much, and you got that way worse than I did.
I have 5,000 followers. I'm maxed out on friends on Facebook, just simply for speaking the truth. And at the very most, I might get 100, 200 reactions. They made me a public figure. They turned my profile into a page, and I still, it is very difficult. But to my followers, that doesn't, need your support.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So how do you reach out? That's the tough one. It has to be word of mouth. It's kind of like you see in a great movie, you can only advertise so much, but it's really when someone says, hey, you have to check this out. That's what makes it work. And I think that's what's going to make this one work. If enough people believe in us, believe in the idea, believe in cooperation, if we can stop fighting each other as capitalism encourages us to do, fighting each other for the basics, then I think we'll be a lot better. If we want to fight each other for our phones and clothes, that's great. Have all the competition you want there. But just to get the basic needs met, food, news, that shouldn't be something that we're all fighting and struggling for. Yeah.
You kind of answered already, but aside from holding events like this, what are some other ways that you're trying to promote this?
Yeah, I was curious how this event was going to go, because I've literally never done anything like this before in my life. So we was going to do the event, see how well the promotion worked, and then figure it out from there. So the short answer is, I don't know.
We may add a dispensary tour with the
I don't touch it.
What about like the colleges to get that sort of young energy,
Yes.
revolutionary?
Yeah. So Sean, my campaign manager, has been doing a little bit of that. But the youth, I think, are the ones that are really going to take this and run, because they're the ones that are looking at college and saying, it's a little too expensive. And they're looking at the job market and they're like, I don't really see anything. And so what are they going to do? And if you can say, here's something you can do, it's not going to pay well. You may even have to pay a little bit to start, but it will make you feel good. You'll contribute to humanity and you're helping your own community. And I think that's a pretty powerful motivator, especially when you have other people in it and there's a whole group of people doing it. I don't think this is just going to be a San Diego thing. It may be starting here, but a lot of people are talking about cooperation all over the country. I don't know if you guys know Peak Prosperity or Chris Martenson. He did the crash course. And it's basically talking about long-term energy trends, long-term population trends, and government trends. And he's all advocating the same thing. It's cooperation with your community and building up community. He's just not running for office, so that makes him probably more sane. Good questions. Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this, but you're running in different districts, and my curiosity is whether or not you're open to jump-starting a cooperative amongst the cities that you represent.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say absolutely. At this point, I'm kind of like I am with the election. I'm in favor of pretty much anyone doing what they think is a good idea. And I don't want to be saying this is what we should do. This is my suggestion. If people think a third party is a good option, go for it. If people want to try harder to clean up the Democrats or Republicans, I say go for it. This is my alternative.
I think it's worth noting that we're already against the next war, too.
Yes. I thought you were going to go longer on that one.
Yeah.
No.
She's like, guess the next war, it's done.
That's it. No, we're against it. Yeah, we have to stop it.
Well, can you say more about that?
Tell us why you don't like fighting.
Yeah, what's going on today that makes you...
Well, okay, so you look at, I mean, basically, I graduated high school in 2000, turned 18 in 2000. It was my first election that I voted in. And then 9/11 happened. We've been at war, 2 wars for a whole administration. Then Obama comes, and his silky smooth voice just sold us all on a bunch of lies. He turned 2 wars into 7, and it just needs to end. It just needs to end. This is madness. We are spending all of our money on killing people instead of helping the citizens of this country, and that's the first thing that needs to change. We need to stop funding terrorism and no more wars. We can't keep this up.
And the thing that really gets me is that once you get used to something, you end up not changing. And right now, there are people in high school, juniors, probably not seniors, but definitely sophomores and juniors, who have never known America not to be at war. Like that's not good, because all of a sudden, those people are like, well, why would I start fighting the war? Or why would I start trying to, prevent us from going to another war or even pulling us out? Because war is just a normal thing. And that's literally straight out of the book 1984. You just get used to war. And like we've gotten used to homeless, it's getting worse. Like I live a block away from my apartment. It's getting worse, and it's just become accepted. And I don't want war to become accepted. I don't know anyone who disagrees with that. I'm not sure maybe that's interesting.
I think people running our country disagree with that, which is why we need to get more people like us.
Any other questions? This is a great turnout. Thanks for coming out, by the way. Thank you. All righty. Well, I think we're good on questions then. Again, thank you again for coming out. Try to get someone's email, get on our newsletter list so that we can keep doing this again. And we're going to be here for another hour, so feel free to hang out and chat, order more food. All right, thanks again, everybody. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay. So how can we